Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Freshman Orientation. We're going to be talking about LinkedIn basics today. I'm Kate Drake, and I'll be your host for this webinar. This is one that we do fairly often, and it's kind of exciting because LinkedIn just got purchased by Microsoft last week, and this is kind of an exciting deal. We feel like it really shows that Microsoft sees the value in LinkedIn and thinks it's going to be a major player, and really it is. It's been around for a long time because it works so well, and so it's a really great social medium to get involved in. And I hope this webinar will be helpful for all of you. Really quick, I just want you all to draw your attention to the Q&A and also the chat section. You're welcome to ask questions there as we go, so feel free to ask as we go along, and I'll try to get those as we go. And we'll also do a Q&A session here at the end. So feel free to ask away, and we'll go ahead and hop in and get started. So let's do just a quick overview of what we're going to talk about today. The first one is understanding the audience behind LinkedIn, getting started, how to create a profile and everything, building connections once you're on the social medium, how to leverage those connections outside of LinkedIn. And I love this quote here. LinkedIn should be connecting you to the information, insights, and people to be more effective. And I think that's a really great quote. Really, that is the whole philosophy behind LinkedIn. It's a really unique player in this industry because it is a social medium that is just for networking. It's different than a Facebook or a Twitter or something like that because of that reason. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that here with the different audiences that are happening on these different social channels. So Facebook is primarily a B2C platform. It's very consumer-based. It's got huge audience, right? More than 1 billion people. Highest growth in the 25 to 54 age bracket. Really big social channel, big mix of female and male. And it's starting to skew older as, older adults start getting on board and having profiles built for them by their children, or realizing that it's a great way to stay in touch with people at business or things like that. So very important there for B2C. Twitter, kind of similar in a lot of ways. It's different in that it's a quick read mobile channel, and it does skew more urban and under 49. But it has that same equal gender, education, and economic strata that we see of Facebook. And it's a big B2C competitor. They're definitely going from business to consumer on Twitter and on Facebook. Here's where LinkedIn is different. It really is the business to business networking tool. It's got a huge networking emphasis, and really that's why people are there, is to make connections with others. Right now it's very male dominated and is very business centric. So you're going to have a higher end population of people who are well educated, who are making a little more money and things like that, and more professional type jobs. Though we do see plenty of blue collar type jobs and things like that listed on there as well. With the male dominated thing, this is something that LinkedIn has really recognized that it has as a weakness of itself. And it started to reach out and try and really actively promote women to be more actively involved in LinkedIn. I know I get things from them at least once a week asking me to join female managers groups, or women in business, or things like that. And they really are trying to reach out to women and grow that audience base. So while you're getting started, first things first, you've got to sign into LinkedIn and create a profile. So you just go to linkedin.com and you'll be asked for your email address and password. Now, if you have LinkedIn service through us, we've probably either walked you through this or taken this information from you so we could connect to your account. But even if you don't have LinkedIn service through Social 5 and you do any sort of B2C or B2B, type work, this is probably something you want to do. Having even just a personal page is really great because it's a great way to connect with people. So I really highly recommend you doing this, even if you're not doing service through Social 5. So once you sign in, you'll be brought to your profile. And you can see here, up here in the right-hand corner, you'll see what's going on with your account. You can see where messages are, any notifications that you may get, any connection requests that you may be receiving. Over here on the right side, kind of down farther, you can see what people are posting. So this is going to be content from the connections that you've made. It's going to appear here in a news feed. Now, the LinkedIn news feed is a little bit different than Facebook or Twitter in that it moves a lot slower. People don't post on LinkedIn several times a day the way they do on Facebook or Twitter. So it moves a little more slowly. We recommend posting, maybe 3 times a week, and that's plenty. So you don't need to worry about posting constantly on LinkedIn or anything. It's nowhere near as speedy as something like Twitter is. So one thing that we really recommend is that you want to make sure that you are optimizing your profile, because LinkedIn is a B2B networking tool that's really used for recruiting and vetting and investigating potential partners and businesses. I know our executive team, if we're going to enter in a partnership with someone, looks at their profile, sees what's going on. We do it for hiring people for jobs as well. Really important tool that way, that it's almost like an online resume. So you want to make sure that your profile really looks professional and thoughtful, and that it's thorough. Add as much information as you can. Make sure you've got your education updated, your personal information, how people can get in touch with you, all that good stuff that makes you look really professional and really put together. One thing that's really important about this is that this is going to be used for online searchability. If you Google someone's name, their LinkedIn profile is going to be probably one of the top results that comes up. So it's really going to be one of the first impressions that people get of you. So very important that way. Also, having more fields filled out gives those search engine spiders that are out crawling around on the web trying to find information more ways to find you. So really important to have that part filled out so that you can get more hits from the different search engines out there. Like I said, we want to think of your LinkedIn profile like an online resume. This is my boss, Jeremiah, our Chief Content Officer here at Social 5. Really good guy. And this is his LinkedIn profile. You want to make it as thorough as you possibly can. Use as many keywords as you can that would help potential partners find you. So you can see, he's got listed there that he's the Chief Content Officer at Social 5. He's also got his education put in there, past places that he's worked. He's made sure to fill out all of those. He's got a bunch of skills listed on there and endorsements that people have sent him. He's got his education, all good stuff there. Very important. So once you've created a profile, it's time to start building your network. And this is something that I really recommend people get on and do maybe once a week or so. Just hop on LinkedIn and see who's connected with you, and then add anybody who you have seen throughout the week and want to connect with. So the way you're going to do that is you're going to start with the search bar here. And this will allow you to add any friends or family or business associates to your network by their name. So you come to that search bar, type in their name. In this case, we're connecting Jeremiah with me. And you click on their name and you press the connect button. You can see it down here on my picture here at the bottom. Now, one thing I'll point out is that you can see it's brought up several different Katie Drakes. So you do need to be careful about who it might be that you're connecting with. One of those is actually also me. It's an old LinkedIn profile that I never did anything with. So I should probably hop in and delete that. But yeah, so you're going to want to see who you can connect with. Hopefully they've got their picture on there. That's another really big reason why we recommend putting a photo of yourself on there that's really professional and looks like you. It's not time for a glamour shot that doesn't look like what you look like, right? You want people to be able to recognize you and see that photo and go, okay, yes, that's the person I connected with. The other thing that you'll see is up here, it's got this little thing that says first connection. And that means that Jeremiah and I actually know each other. Sometimes you'll see something like that that will say second or third. And what that means is that you know someone, like you share a connection in common. So if I am trying to get in touch with someone who knows Jeremiah, they're going to see that second degree connection between the two of us, that we have a shared contact. Same with a third degree connection. You know someone who knows someone who knows someone, right? And that's really what LinkedIn is all about. It's that network building of knowing someone who knows someone and seeing how you can help one another with your business. So really great tool this way. Try and add as many folks as you can, because once you are building your network, there's some cool options that you can do. And we're going to talk about those in here in just a minute. Another thing that you can do as you're building your network is you can search through your email databases to help you find connections. So this is nice because that way you don't have to type in the name of every single person you know and try and connect with them. You can pull this up by going up to connections and add connections, and it will let you do this thing where you pick whatever email server you want to use. So they've got Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, and then there's a generic one for any email. And you can put that in, you enter your email address, and it will scroll through your contacts that you've had contact with and pull up all the people who you might know on LinkedIn. You can see we did this with Jeremiah, and he had 91 people that he hadn't connected with on LinkedIn yet. Pretty cool. So easy way to do it, and a much easier way of building connections than having to type in every name individually, right? Oh, sorry, there's where you want to click, add connections. Now, we talked a little bit about leveraging your network outside of LinkedIn. Once you've built your profile and you've added those connections, it's really time to start letting that network grow. And again, once a week, we want you to hop on your profile and accept connection requests, and also search for any new connections that you may have found throughout the week. You don't have to accept everyone's connection request who requests you. You can say no to people. Again, this is a professional network, so if you've worked with someone in the past and they were just not a good employee, or you don't feel comfortable recommending them or something like that, you're welcome to ignore their connection request. Just remember that, just because they're not a great worker or whatever, doesn't mean they don't know someone who is, right? So keep that in mind as you're thinking about accepting connection requests. And then again, look for new connections that you may have met throughout the week or done business with, and add them. Hopefully, if they are on LinkedIn and can see you, they'll be eager to add you as a connection as well. Because again, remember, it's not just that you're trying to take advantage of them and sell them something for your business. You're looking at ways that you can mutually help one another. And that's a really important philosophy to remember as you're going about your LinkedIn strategy. Now, another thing that's really cool about LinkedIn is that you can use your connections on LinkedIn to make them part of your regular email marketing efforts. So you can also post regularly on your LinkedIn page, which is great. Gets that content out in front of your connections and stuff. Again, if you have Social 5's LinkedIn service, that's what we're doing for you, posting that really business savvy content on there to keep it going. But the email contacts are a really cool thing. Under CAN-SPAM law, which is the rules and restrictions for marketing emails here in the US, connecting with someone on LinkedIn qualifies you to have access to their information, and you can add them to your email list. So that's really cool. So one thing that we really recommend is that you build as many connections as you can, and then you download that list of emails and put it into your monthly email effort that we do for you here at Social 5. So the way to do that is you're going to come over here to Connections and go to Keep in Touch. And then it'll pull up this little kind of settings thing in the corner. You'll click on that, and it will give you the option to export your LinkedIn connections. And you can export them into a CSV file, which is similar to Excel. They're almost exactly the same. And you just send that on over to us at support@social5.com, and we'll put that in the back of our system, and that way those folks will be getting a monthly email blast from you. Really cool way to stay top of mind, stay connected with them. And again, maybe you don't talk that much on LinkedIn, since it's not really the type of social network that you get on just to chat, right? But that way they're getting that monthly email blast from you, and you're staying top of mind with them and really helping them to stay in touch with you and know what's going on, and hopefully learn a little bit more about your business. So again, this is something I totally recommend doing. You can do it as many times as you want and send them over. Our email system will filter out any duplicates. So if you've already sent over your list, you don't need to worry about only adding the new people or anything like that. Our system will take care of that. So you can send that on over. I recommend doing it once a month. I know that's kind of a tall order for some people. So if you can do it once a quarter and send it on over, and that way all those new contacts will be getting that email blast from you. It's really cool. All right, with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and open it for any questions. Does anybody have anything they need clarified, or any information that you need me to go over again? Any questions? One thing I will say is, as I was saying earlier, Microsoft just purchased LinkedIn for $26.2 billion last week. And the thing that I think is really cool about this is I think it really shows that there's this tech giant out there in Microsoft that really sees the value in social media, and particularly in LinkedIn. I think that value is only going to increase. I think Microsoft feels like they paid $26.2 million, and they got a great deal if they don't get anything other than the data mining opportunity that comes with finding all the connections and stuff on LinkedIn, because they've got so much great information about people so that they can help place for different jobs or market to you specifically, and it's going to be pretty cool. I know they've talked about trying to integrate some of the LinkedIn things into some of their Microsoft products as well, so we'll see where that goes. But a few people have asked me about that, like, well, does that mean LinkedIn is dead? And I think it's totally the opposite. I think it's just getting started. LinkedIn is a long-time social network. It's been around since, I want to say, 2002, which makes it a dinosaur in social network terms, right? But the reason it has had such longevity that you don't see for something like Instagram or Snapchat or whatever, where they have this huge rise in popularity and then everybody moves on to the next thing, is that LinkedIn really is valuable, and it really does have that longevity that way. So again, a really great medium to be involved with. I'd highly recommend it, even if you are not doing service through Social5, that you create a profile for yourself. All right. Well, it looks like we don't have any questions, so I'll go ahead and sign off. Join me next week. We're going to be talking about email and mobile marketing basics. Very useful, and I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you have any other questions, feel free to send us an email at support. Just use the support@social5.com, and it'll get over to us. I'm sorry, I'm having a blank moment there for a second. Oh, looks like we have a quick question. So we've got a question here about, are there any other B2B platforms? And there are. LinkedIn is really the biggest generic one. The thing that's interesting about social media is that there really is a platform out there for every single interest or hobby. I'm thinking of some of the ones that I belong to. I'm trying to learn to knit, so I belong to a knitters social network called Ravelry. I also like to cook, so I belong to Epicurious, right? These are all highly specialized social networks. And there are a lot of those for individual industries and stuff like that too, that are more B2C. But again, they're kind of esoteric and a little obscure. They don't have nearly the huge population base that LinkedIn has. LinkedIn has like 400 million members in like 140 countries or something like that. So huge, and it's just so vast that it's almost incomprehensible. So for B2B, I mean, there are some specific niche social mediums that are really great, depending on what, if you're a yarn shop, you should probably be on Ravelry, the knitting social network, right? But for the most part, if you're looking for just overall great place to go, LinkedIn is it. It really is kind of the generic best option for most people. All right. Well, I hope that was helpful for you guys. Again, if you have any other questions, feel free to email us at support@social5.com, and we'll go ahead and answer those for you. And I hope I see you again next week for email and mobile basics. Thanks for joining us.